Welcome to the Roy Rogers channel with your host, Roy Rogers. Today at 6:45 p.m., mother passed away. I never even imagined that this could even happen, especially to your host, but it has. It's painful, I can tell you that. Losing your own mother. It's really painful. And I'm sorry to burden you all with this detail, but probably when you talk to me, I'll be emotionally teared. If you know what that means. That means that when you talk to me, I may start getting emotional on you. I can't. I can't. I can't. I can't talk. I can't talk about. Oh, it's too painful to talk about this. 2 weeks ago, my mother was driving fine, and my mother was doing her usual errands, like going shopping, and then all of a sudden, boom, something happened. So my mother had to go to the hospital. 2 weeks have passed, and actually we transferred to another hospital, and my mother was laying down, and eventually, what happened? Well, grandma, or yeah, it's uh, technically she's my grandmother, but I like calling her my mother. Anyway, my mother, she transferred to another hospital, and what happened was that she was getting better, then worse, better and worse. It's almost like a roller coaster, and grandma was always in pain. They eventually put grandma to sleep, and grandma was like a mother to me. She was like a real mom to me, and she was put to sleep. Didn't die yet, but just went to sleep. Eventually, they were trying to do surgery on my mother, and eventually, today, on my Sabbath, at 6:45 p.m. approximately, not the exact time, but approximately 6:45 p.m. Eastern time, my mother my mother went to to heaven in a nicer place in earth, I guess. But I miss my mother so much. It, it, it's just too painful for me as a YouTube host. Your most cheerful host may start getting emotional on you for these first couple of days as I start my YouTube videos. I'm not too sure when the funeral is going to take place, but I do know this, that at least my mother's in a better place. And if you really want to know what my mother died from, it was liver cancer. It's too painful. It is it I'm actually filming this in her house right now. it's painful. It's agonizing to know that someone died at 6:45 p.m. Eastern Time. Approximately 6:45, I should say. I don't usually cry, but I usually whenever when something tragic like this happens, I usually start going into an emotional roller coaster, like up and down and up and down. I'll still have my YouTube channel, but for these first couple of days, you may notice that I'm gonna get a little bit emotional while I go on my YouTube channel. I never would have pictured that this would have happened to me. I never ever pictured this. It, the best part, well, the ironic part is that my grandmother was actually in good health. I mean, she was jogging, eating broccoli, taking her pills. She was a healthy lady. I never would have pictured her being in a hospital bed and being on a deathbed. I never would have pictured that. I never pictured this happening. And then even when Grandma was in the hospital, I was figuring, well, maybe she she's healthy enough. I mean, she took her pills and uh, she ate healthy, so I figured that she was gonna be out of the hospital. Not today. Not today at approximately 6:45 p.m. Not today. Not today. My most closest person in the game, I told her that my mother was in the hospital, but I always had the mindset that my mother was getting better. So every single time she asked, "Oh, how's your mother doing in the hospital?" I always said, "Oh, she's getting better." I didn't want to burden her with the emotional stress that she was getting worse and worse. I always had the mindset that she's healthy, she's going to get better. I can't do it. I just it's painful, it's agonizing, it's just painful. You might notice that I'm going to take sudden pauses in my videos because I'm I'm still trying to think in my mind how my mother ended up in the deathbed. I am wondering, because my mother was always healthy. I mean, she was like I said, she was jogging, she was eating healthy food, she was eating carrots, broccoli, vegetables, fruit, all the nutritious things that she could have, and she took her meds, her vitamins. I never would have pictured this happening. And I mean never. I mean never would have pictured this. It's it's a painful feeling for me. It's agonizing. I'm sorry. I just took this sudden pause. I'm not going to edit this tape because this tape shows the emotional tear that I have about my own grandmother. My mother, my grandmother was like a mother to me. She was feeding me. In fact, I'm filming this in my grandmother's kitchen. She made soup and eggs, it, toast, and she also, I remember her giving me a big hug, and she she always looked forward to me coming. I never would have pictured that this would have happened to me at 6:45 p.m. approximately on this day. This is painful, folks. This is painful. I really hope that you all don't have to go through this. But eventually, you all will have to go through this if you all haven't went through it yet. Still, I'm going to be doing YouTube videos. It's going to take me a while to get my excited tone back. I'm going to try to get it back, but it'll take a while for it to come back. This is stressful for me. I can't. I can't anymore. I can't. I just I need some time to be able to recuperate. I need some time. This is Zero Rogers channel coming in. I can't. I can't even say the ending anymore. This is one of the few times where I'm not going to say the ending. This is Zero Rogers channel coming in.